New segment, new apron. Welcome friends to Technique Tuesdays. I'm doing the regular show still, Saturdays, 9 a.m. Central Time. That's the cooking show. This show is going to be all about the technique and the philosophy of feeding yourself, and today we're doing garlic. This is a bulb of garlic, and this is a clove. In some cultures, they call this a foot of garlic, and then this would be a toe. I chose this particular example because it has the green shoots growing out of it, and that's not harmful. That's just fine. Eat it if you have it, but if you see it in the store, it could indicate that it's been sitting around for a while. It might not be as fresh as it could be. All of that garlic flavor, the flavor that we love, is being sapped from the garlic clove itself, and is the energy that it's producing is going into this shoot here to grow new garlic. So if this happens at home, eat the garlic, don't waste food. You may need to use a little bit more of the garlic to get the same amount of garlic flavor because it's a little muted, but if you see it in the store, maybe don't buy the garlics that are sprouting. Here's one that hasn't started to sprout. When your garlic is whole like this, you're going to store it in a dry, dark place. Low humidity is preferable. When you peel your garlic, which is what we're here for today, you should store it in the refrigerator in an airtight container. The flavor is going to take a little bit of a nosedive, but if it's easier for you to peel all of your garlic one day of the week and then use it throughout the week, I'd rather have you use it than not. Probably the most time-consuming, but also most hands-off way of getting the garlic out of its skin, we're going to chop that head off and drizzle it with olive oil. Make a little tinfoil bulb like that. That goes in the oven, 400 degrees, 20-30 minutes. It's going to come out like butter. All of our other garlic methods are going to involve me crushing the entire bulb here. You can also do this in between two cutting boards or in between the cutting board and the table. I just like to take the heel of my hand and break it apart. I'm going to have a lot of garlic skins before the end of the day, so I'll start myself a stock bowl. These make wonderful stock. So if you've ever tried to peel garlic with your fingers, it just doesn't work that well. It sticks to the garlic clove. You know, that one came off kind of easy, but then I have this skin over here, this garlic paper that's really attached, and you get garlic down in your fingernails, and there we go. So it took me, well, I'm still peeling it, but it probably took me a good 40 seconds to peel that. That was actually pretty easy as far as finger peeling goes. The next method is what I use probably about 80% of the time. I already have a knife out, I already have a cutting board, and you just place your knife over the garlic and smack it. And you smack it lightly if you want to keep the garlic relatively whole. You see that just comes off then. And you smack it hard if what you want to end up with is crushed garlic. Paper comes off nice and easy. Crushed garlic. This can be a method for getting the paper off and also processing the garlic. We're going to see this twice in this episode because right now I'm only concerned with getting the paper off. A garlic press, like a lot of kitchen tools, you're going to get what you pay for. This one's a little bit higher end, and it was worth it to me because the crushing mechanism comes out and I can clean it a lot easier. So if we leave the paper on and just stick it in this contraption here, it's out. We can use the back of our knife to sort of scrape that off of the garlic press if we have more coming in. That's going to push out the garlic that we just made. And you can see that I'm picking up this press here and I can take this paper out. And I'm wasting a reasonable amount of it for the sake of brevity. So it's not my favorite way to de-paper garlic, but it is a very effective and useful way to press garlic. That can go in the stock bowl too. Another very effective technique to removing this paper is to stick the individual cloves in the microwave. Take your clove of garlic, put it in the microwave, 20 seconds. It does cook it just a little bit, so if you're gonna do this, just be aware that your garlic flavor is gonna get a little bit muted by that microwave, but boy does it make it easy. I probably use this method about 10% of the time, the other 10% being that garlic press. Get yourself 2 bowls that can lock down like this. Mine are different sizes, but that's okay. Another very effective technique that you can use is a mason jar to shake it up. In my experience, the bowl method works a little bit better than the mason jar method, but I always find that I have 1 or 2 cloves of garlic that I need to put back in. You can see there that we have a couple of peeled cloves and a couple of not peeled cloves, and that's not a huge deal because we can just throw them back in and they'll peel nicely. I really only do this when I'm concerned with presentation, when I want to get some nice slices of garlic and have that be very present in my dish. Otherwise, I don't care a lot. If you find this video entertaining and or educational, do me a favor by hitting the like button. It just lets YouTube know that I'm doing a good job and it helps my content get in front of the right people. And I always suggest supporting local kitchen shops, but if that's not an option for you, I'm going to link all of the tools and equipment that I'm using in the description below, so if you see something you like, grab your gear. Speaking of, let's go over some ways to prepare this garlic, and I'm going to go from probably most aggressive garlic flavor to most mild and mellow garlic flavor. So with the most aggressive garlic flavor, I will use the press. This is getting liquefying some of the garlic, and again I'm just going to put this time my peeled garlic in here because I can, and I'm going to squeeze that out. There you go. And I've got a little bit of a mess in here, but that's okay because I have another garlic coming on the tail end of it. So this is good for doing, I don't know, I tend to do 4 or more cloves in the garlic press. Makes it really easy. If I'm doing 4 or more cloves, I want really solid garlic flavor anyway. If not, I'm usually just using a knife. Second most aggressive is probably grating the garlic. You can use a box cheese grater, or you can use a microplane zester like I have here. I usually don't do this. I usually, if I want it this fine, I will use my garlic press, and you're wasting a little bit of it. You're wasting a little bit just because you don't want to cut your fingers up. The microplane zester is sharp, yep, and you will cut yourself. So I'm wasting about that much garlic. But I did get a very nice liquefied garlic, but I got that from the garlic press anyway. Mincing the garlic, this is also something that I usually don't do. This involves making very tiny cuts one way, making a couple of horizontal cuts the other way. And I don't like this because the potential for cutting yourself is pretty great here, but you can get some very nice, very tiny squares of garlic. Almost the polar opposite of the mince is the rough chop. I'm going to rough chop through here and then go the other way. Then try to go a third way. This is definitely my preferred method. It's fast, it's efficient, you still get a ton of garlic flavor, it's about a medium intensity, and there's not much that I need something other than this for. But when I'm concerned about presentation, I'll either go with the mince or I'll go with the slice, depending on what I need it to look pretty for. And in honor of Ray Liotta, who just recently passed, rest in peace Ray, even though it wasn't his character that did it on Goodfellas, it is his character who said it, so I am going to slice an entire clove of garlic thinly with a razor blade like they did in prison. And this gets it ridiculously thin, but I don't think that I would ever practically do this. This is just for show. Wicked thin. I can see through that. Next on our list of degrading intensity is crushed garlic. I already showed you this. You can leave the peel on for this and just smack it with the knife. Then if you throw that whole thing into a sauce or just to flavor some oil, it's going to give you sort of a mild garlic flavor. There's enough garlic exposed that you'll get the idea. And then of course, if you just want to flavor something and take your garlic out afterwards, I would just leave it whole, cut it in half, and it leaves it very easy to take out. Then look at how easy that comes out. Garlic butter. Of course it's not actually butter, but it's spreadable. This is probably the most mild, buttery, creamy, herbaceous garlic flavor that you're going to get. So there you go, a whole bunch of ways to peel and prep garlic. If you'd like to find a way to use all of this garlic, I suggest you watch this video right over here.